Hello, welcome back to teleSUR English. Now we go live to Havana as Latin American heads of state gathered to hold the 21st summit of the Bolivarian Alternative of the Americas member states, ALBA-TCP.
This is a historical need. As the Commander-in-Chief Fidel Castro used to say, ALBA, which was created by the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela and Cuba and inspired in the ideas of Bolivar and Martí, is an example of revolutionary solidarity, has proved how much can be done with cooperation and peaceful cooperation. End of quote. It is a united Latin America with a proper voice and articulated in the coordination of development and the defense of sovereignty appears to be essential. If we are fragmented, we can be ignored, but together no one can silence us. And the same applies for solidarity the countries face that have fewer resources. The COVID-19 pandemic has been one of the main challenges of our nations in the recent years. This has stressed our economies and systems of health, but has also helped us generate initiatives and projects of which we can feel proud. In our case, this has resulted. It's been very important, the work of health specialists and scientists who are heroes today and whose contributions have been a tremendous help for us. The development and potentials of the pharmaceutical industry in Cuba, which is a legacy of Fidel Castro, has enabled us to produce 3 vaccines with high levels of effectiveness. With these vaccines, we have been able to apply over 9.5 million schemes that represent 98.9% of the entire Cuban population and 96% of the population that could have been vaccinated. Other sectors of the population have received strengthening doses, and we were the first country to vaccinate children after 2 years. This has been the sovereign response of our nation to the pandemic, when we were suffering the impact of 243 measures of the criminal blockade that we have been facing for the last 63 years. And we will not stop saying that these measures were not raised in the most critical moments. Even the oxygen was denied to us, but we succeeded thanks to the children and thanks to the work of the Cuban Revolution. Before you, today, we ratify our intention to put to the service of the countries of ALBA our efforts and resources. These achievements is a sample that Cuba does not stop before these measures against our country. We will continue resisting with creativity, and we will continue to build a more fairer and solidarity society. Heads of delegations. In the recent weeks, several governments have asked for the historical legacy of the region to call the summit and to invite the Summit of the Americas to all countries in the hemisphere without exception. Now, the United States, with their anti-democratic practices and without any justification, plan to forget this fair claim and even resorting to deceitful maneuvers. We cannot forget that Cuba, with the help of yourselves, showing the will of constructive dialogue and participating in these kinds of dialogue from 2015 in Panama. At that time, the General of the Army, Raúl Castro, who was the president of our country, emphasized the creation of CELAC and the signing of Latin America and the Caribbean as a zone of peace have proved that we can move ahead towards unity and for common objectives in the framework of our diversity. Using the condition of host to the Summit of the America, the United States plans to use interventionist ideals, excluding countries that have a lot to say on the main topics of this event. We have learned that they have found an opposition to those attempts, and the practice to exclude Cuba is not new and confirms their interest to control the inter-American system for their own benefits and to impose a new fiscalizing mode of democracy. It is not their right to do so. They claim that they are promoters of democracy, and they confuse democracy with their system, but they are not able to guarantee a plural space. They want to be interested in a constructive relationship with our region, but they do not respect differences. In this sense, and in the name of democracy, the United States fails to hear the claim of a hemispheric summit with the countries that live in this continent. The nature of hemispheric relations must change. It is obsolete, and the subordination policy to this country should change, no matter how powerful it is. Our America has changed. Decisions to not invite is a step backwards, and all countries must be invited in conditions of equality. It is disrespectful to decide from the privileged condition of a host nation who will represent it. In front of these attempts of exclusion, it is important to strengthen mechanism of consultation in the Caribbean and in Latin America. Together, we will be able to defend effectively our sovereignty without intervention and foreign pressures. It is also important to continue defending ALBA as a consultation of cooperation agreement that tribute to a Latin America that is economically and politically more independent and sovereign. In this scenario, we must respect the right of Caribbean nations to receive a fair treatment so that they are able to face their huge challenges. Our call is for unity. Our call is to add and to dialogue and not to confront, and to respect and not to impose. These are times to defend our America that's so beautiful Jose Marti described. It is the moment to build a whole nation as Bolivar dreamed, and to respect the leaders and martyrs that defended the dignity of our land. And we must be together like silver in the roots of the Andes. This was written by Jose Marti over a century ago. History will judge, bearing in mind how much we were able to move ahead. Our survival depends on our capacity. Thank you very much.